We're off and running. Welcome into the show. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now. My name is Chase Sr., and as always, no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. A couple of topics that I want to get into here. The Eagles made a roster move that I think has fallen under the radar. And also, will the Philadelphia Eagles bench Jalen Hurts? Head coach Nick Sirianni was asked that question this morning on WIP. I have a lot of thoughts on this, and I agree with the stance that Sirianni has taken. But let's begin here. Coming up on Sunday, Week 15, as the 2025 regular season really closes down and winds down, obviously the Bird's going to be taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Inside the walls here at Chat Sports, we have some really talented content creators. That includes Mitchell Renz, the host of the Raiders Report, and I think the competition brings the best out of everybody. But league-wide, Eagles fans, Raiders fans, considered to be the two most passionate fan bases in all of football. So I want to test something out, and I want to see which fan base has the more passionate fans. Is it this Eagles fan base? Is it the Raiders fan base? Well, over the last 7 days, Philadelphia Eagles Now has picked up 856 new subscribers as we're closing in on 140,000. The Raiders Report, 436. Can we build upon this number and crush Raider Nation? Hit that subscribe button, and in the process, you'll get elite, free daily content on the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, let's begin here with an Eagles roster move. Philadelphia waiving long snapper Cal Adamatis. Now, you might be saying, Chase, who cares? He's a long snapper. This isn't an important move. I'm going to stop you right there. This is a very important move for the Birds, and I'm going to explain why. Now, as for Adamatis, he went to Central Catholic High School in Pittsburgh. He played his college ball at Pitt. He was with the Cincinnati Bengals from 2022 through 2024. And then once Charlie Hewlett, who the Eagles brought in this offseason to replace Rick Lovato, got hurt, the Eagles went the direction of fulfilling the need for long snapper with Adamatis. And he played in 9 games with the Eagles after Charlie Hewlett got down. Now, they signed him originally in training camp when Hewlett was hurt. Then Hewlett got hurt again during the regular season, and so they brought back a familiar face. What this means is that, number one, the practice window has opened up for Charlie Hewlett. The Eagles moments ago saying that he is going to most likely return this week. And he's eligible now to come off of injured reserve. Now, he's a 35-year-old who got hurt in the Tampa Bay game all the way back in week 4 when the Eagles offense in the first half was electric. And then in the second half, Jalen Hurts didn't complete a pass. Hewlett is a very experienced player. He's been in the league since 2015 with the Cleveland Browns from 2015 all the way through 2024. And the Eagles specifically chose him to replace the 2-time champion long snapper in Rick Lovato, who is one of 4 players in the history of this Eagles organization to win 2 Super Bowls. So not easy to move off of a player like that. Those other 3, Brandon Graham, Lane Johnson, and Jake Elliott. And speaking of Jake Elliott, this is why this move is so important to me. We know that kickers can be mentally fickle. The littlest of things can throw them off. And that is what has happened to Jake Elliott without Charlie Hewlett. Now, with Charlie Hewlett, it was Jake the Make Elliott. He was perfect on the season, and he looked to be back to the player who we had seen for a very long time, since 2017 through 2023. But last year, outside of the playoffs, when once again he was clutch, Jake Elliott really struggled a year ago. With Cal Adamatis, Jake the Make Elliott became Jake Missy Elliott. And he was missing kicks left and right. You look at his numbers with Hewlett. 4 of 4 on his field goal attempts. 12 of 12 on his extra points. 3 of 3 on kicks of 50-plus yards. Last year, Jake Elliott in the regular season was 1 of 7 on kicks of 50 or more yards. Jake Elliott without Charlie Hewlett. 12 of 17 on his field goal makes and attempts. 19 of 20 on his extra points. That miss, a big one against the Bears to really squash some of the momentum that the Eagles were building. And his kicks from 50 plus, only 1 of 4. And what I noticed last year with Rick Lovato, I was actually talking about this a year ago, was that his snaps were just a tick off compared to prior years when he had replaced the legendary John Dornbos. And kicking is such a mentally fickle thing where kickers can be great and then they can get the yips, but tiny things can throw off kickers, alter their confidence, alter the process of kicking the football. And even if the snap is a fraction or a hair to the right, to the left, if it's a little bit low, the kicker, as he's going to kick that ball, notices that, and their thought process goes from, let me swing the leg and drill this kick, to, oh my gosh, the snap is a little bit off. Obviously, the rotation of the ball, the placement of the ball, all of these things are really important. And with Lovato, he was struggling with the accuracy of his long snaps. With Charlie Hewlett, he was actually really good, and I think Jake Elliott had confidence in him. But with Cal Adamatis, and I think I'm pronouncing that name right, I think that Jake Elliott's confidence was lacking a little bit because while his snaps have been pretty accurate, I just don't know if the process was as flawless as what Elliott wanted. And if you were watching the watch party on Monday Night Football when Jake Elliott missed that 48-yarder right before the halftime break, I had one of my biggest crash outs that I have had on my on-air career. Now, I've been here at Chat Sports since 2021. Prior to this, I was on television as a news reporter up in northeastern Pennsylvania. Before that, I got my career started in Illinois. I was on air for years at Temple University covering the basketball and football programs during some really nice times, and now the athletic program, not all that great, although the football program is back. But when Jake Elliott missed that field goal, it really was a moment of frustration for me that had been boiling for a long time, where this Eagles team right now on offense and on special teams, kicking the ball for Jake Elliott, and then offensively all across the map, they can't capitalize on momentum right now, and they can't play consistent football, and they can't do some of the little things right. And even in a situation like Monday Night Football, where Adoree Jackson intercepts Justin Herbert, after Jalen Phillips hit the arm of Herbert, the Eagles get a huge turnover right before halftime. Then there's the 15-yard penalty on top of the pick. And then the Eagles come out there. They don't know what to do, if they're going to run a play or not with 2 timeouts. They don't target the middle area of the field with those 2 timeouts. Instead, Nick Sirianni trots out Jake Elliott. Jake Elliott goes to the sideline. Then the offense comes on the field. Jalen Hurts takes the snap, throws it away to just kill clock, I guess. And Jake Elliott comes out and misses a field goal, which would have made it a 1-score game, which at the end of the game cost the Eagles the victory. And here was my reaction. We have to bleep it out so that we don't get censored by YouTube when Jake Elliott missed that field goal. Big kick for Jake Elliott. He's been a little bit shaky of late. This from 48, indoors, left hash, gotta have it. To make it a 1-point game. He f***ing missed it! God damn it! What the f***? Can't f***ing miss that! Demoralizing! Come on! You get the pick, the turnover, the penalty, ball at the 30, and you can't hit the fucking field goal. Such a fucking joke this team is right now. And this team right now can be best characterized as a team that continues to shoot itself in the foot. And that's why I was so frustrated. And a lot of you can feel me on that. And I'm not somebody who likes to curse a lot on air because I know that people of all ages, all walks of life, and all beliefs and all geographics watch this show. But I couldn't hold back in that moment because I was so frustrated. And so this is a big move, in my opinion, that Charlie Hewlett is back. Hopefully that gets Jake Elliott back on track because he has been very, very shaky in recent weeks. Now, coming up next, segment number 2, will the Philadelphia Eagles bench quarterback Jalen Hurts? Nick Sirianni was asked about this. We're going to dive into it here in just a moment. But first, let's get to today's sponsor, our friends at Ridge Wallet, making today's Philadelphia Eagles now possible. And I'm somebody who hates having too much in my pockets. I know a lot of you can feel me on that. And when I would have this big, fat, leather, crusty brick of a wallet in my pocket, I'd be unable to find my keys, get my chapstick, and I'm like, where is this stuff? So I had to make a change. I made the change to Ridge Wallet, and I love it for so many reasons. Sleek, modern design, but it's also extremely durable, made with premium materials like aluminum, titanium, and carbon fiber. And you can choose a Ridge Wallet 2.0 that has over 50 plus colors and styles to choose from. You can even get a wallet that features every NFL, Major League Baseball, or college team. We're showing you that Eagles Ridge Wallet right now. This is the perfect gift for holiday gifting, especially since Ridge is having their biggest sale of the year. And the Ridge 2.0, everything is better. They've been perfecting this for a long time. 10% lighter, every gram matters, and it really is the perfect balance. And losing your wallet is the worst, right? Well, Ridge made this wallet more modular with improved cash straps, money clips, and an AirTag attachment. Therefore, if you do lose your wallet, you can track it down. And the Ridge 2.0 holds up to 12 cards plus cash. It's still thinner than my iPhone. And Ridge wallets have a new industry-leading built-for-life warranty. So even if your wallet is lost or stolen, they've got you covered. Over 100,000 five-star reviews. That is proof that Ridge is a gift that people love to receive. So for a limited time, Ridge is having their huge holiday sale. Head to ridge.com/chat. Get up to 47% off your order by using the code chat. This is by far the biggest discount they've given all year. That's ridge.com/chat for up to 47% off your order during their biggest sale of the year. After you make your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that Philadelphia Eagles now sent you. All right, let's get to this. This has been the topic among Eagles fans over the last couple of days. Will the Eagles bench quarterback Jalen Hurts? Nick Sirianni said Hurts is absolutely his starter against the Las Vegas Raiders when asked about that this morning on WIP in Philadelphia. Here's the extended quote from the Eagles head coach. No, I think that's ridiculous. I know every time I go out on the field with Jalen Hurts as our quarterback, we have a chance to win the game. That's something that's been proven. We've won a lot of football games. This is the most ultimate team game. You win together as a team. You lose together as a team. It's never just one thing. Now, as we know in Philadelphia, the backup quarterback can always be, and always is, the most famous person in the city. But with what Nick Sirianni said here, I do agree with this. You need to allow Jalen Hurts to work through the struggles that he's having right now. And there's no doubt that since the bye week, he's really played poor football. Some of the worst football of his starting career with the Eagles. And since the bye in 5 games played, a usually accurate quarterback has not been accurate. His completion rate is 57.5%, 4 touchdowns to 5 picks through the air, 3 rushing touchdowns. He's fumbled the football 4 times, and his passing yards per game at 215.4. I will say this, though. Coming off that Chargers game, I come away a little encouraged with what I saw on offense from a play calling standpoint, a play design standpoint, a concept point of view, and how Jalen Hurts looked with some of the plays and the throws that he made, including that 3rd and 16 to Devontae Smith in overtime, which displayed a throw over the middle with anticipation and velocity. And I just think that right now the Eagles need to allow Jalen Hurts to iron out some of the wrinkles, get through this rough stretch of play, and there has been a formula that the Eagles have put together that has been proven to work because they've won so many games with Hurts. They've been to 2 Super Bowls over the last 3 years going into this year, and they're on track to make the playoffs every single season that Hurts has been a starting quarterback for this organization since 2021. Say what you want about Nick Sirianni. He had more say going into the Chargers game. And what did we see? Some offensive adjustments that I really like that I think the Eagles can continue to build off of. Now, there are pluses and minuses with Jalen Hurts. I think some of the pluses that we've seen this year and really all throughout his career, he throws a very catchable ball. He has a great deep ball, one of the best in the NFL. When he wants to run and is a decisive runner, he's a very talented mobile quarterback. His intermediate accuracy, pretty good. He's clutch and he wins. The negatives, which have really come to light during this 3-game losing streak, and since the bye week, doesn't process well always. He's uncomfortable targeting the middle of the field. 2 of his 4 picks against the Chargers came over the middle, one of which, when a defensive tackle dropped back in coverage, he never saw him, and that's a processing issue. That's a seeing the field issue. At times, he can struggle to layer throws and put touch behind the ball when targeting throws and targets in between the numbers and the hashes. The pocket mobility isn't always great. Sometimes he bails the pocket too early, in my opinion, and the footwork and the mechanics are just okay. But I'll say this, Jalen Hurts deserves time. And I know that the backup quarterback in the city of Philadelphia sometimes is the most famous person in the city, but Jalen Hurts has earned this. He has earned a grace period. He has earned the right to work through some of his struggles right now. He's been the starter for this football team 4 years, now a 5th. He's led the Eagles to the playoffs every year. He has been to 2 Super Bowls. He has won a championship. He was the Super Bowl MVP last year, carving up one of the best defenses in the NFL, led by one of the best defensive minds in the history of the National Football League. He has outplayed Patrick Mahomes in both of these Super Bowls. And when the pressure cooker is on and the lights are the brightest, that's when Jalen Hurts plays his best football. So he has earned this equity, and I think we have to give him time and a grace period to work through the down play that we've seen since the bye week in those 5 games. Don't forget to give me a follow on social media. You can find me on X, Instagram, and TikTok at Chase_Senior, closing in on 20,000 followers on X, just surpassed 43K on Instagram. And I just launched this TikTok. Incredible response by everybody. Already closing in on nearly 3,000 followers there.